Welcome, everybody, to One Stage at a Time, episode 13. You know what this is. We don't need to tell you what we're doing here. We're playing video games. You're listening to us. They know. You're a rabid fan base that we have. I'm Aaron Neeson.
I'm Andy Prim.
And we have a special guest with us today. Giles Timberlake is in the house.
That's not my real name.
It is what it is in my phone, though.
Infinite J-Rod.
Still, which is why that jumped to my head right now.
That's fantastic. I really like that.
No, we have Jared Vandergriff in studio with us. Welcome, Jared.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for being here, man.
Sure, I'm delighted to be here.
We're pretty excited to have you. Yeah.
Well, today on the program, we're visiting World 4 of Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, boy.
Are you boys ready for this?
I think so.
So, we're going to dig into World 4-1 in a minute here, but since we have a new guest on the program, Jared, I'm curious, what is your history with Super Mario Brothers?
Sure. So I kind of grew up with Mario sort of in the background of my life. And mostly from afar because I was not allowed to have video games when I was a kid.
Oh, boo to that.
So sad.
Yeah,
Call CPS on that one.
But as a result, I think like that turned me into a video game fanatic because I was deprived of it when I was younger.
Right?
Yeah. That's how it works.
But yeah, with Super Mario Brothers, I mean, it's sort of like the quintessential video game from our childhood.
Would you say it was the first video game you played?
I'm almost positive that it was. I mean, I don't remember the first time that I played it. So yeah, lots of playing it at friends' houses and stuff like that. But I never actually had my own NES and a copy of it until high school.
Right. I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I don't think I ever... Until after high school, I had my own NES. I always played it at my cousin's house. My cousins had Super Mario Brothers, and I would play it there. And my neighbors across the alley, I think, had an NES, but we'd play Duck Hunt there, not Mario Bros. But anyways,
I, unlike the two of you, had an NES as a kid, but because I had an Uncle Tom, who had an NES like, you know, back when they first came out, and we would go over there to visit, and I would basically just beg and cajole him to play Mario for me. And then, you know, I was just obsessed. I begged my parents until they finally bought me an NES, and the rest was history.
So you were strictly watching your uncle play, and that's like what got you into it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I would watch him play, and then I would try it. And like, he would, well, first of all, I couldn't pronounce Nintendo. I would say Nintendo. And then when I would hold the controller and he would tell me to go right, I would literally move the controller to the right.
That's adorable.
So you were like 3 years old? Like,
probably. Yeah. I mean, I was really little. This would have been, 1990 or something. Yeah. So long time ago. Thanks, Uncle Tom.
So you had access to video games. Your parents bought you an NES. When you were very young, and you still became a video game fanatic as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was just always on that thing in my free time.
So maybe my deprival theory isn't quite accurate.
Either that, or there's just some chemical imbalance in my brain.
Or maybe just video games are awesome and everybody loves them.
Yeah, well, no, that's probably it, actually.
I mean,
that's probably it.
It's like a primal thing in us now. Like, you know, we used to chase balls with sticks, and now it's like we got
hoop and stick. Let's bring back hoop and stick.
Look how fast it goes.
When will they have the Nintendo Switch version of Hoop and Stick?
Are you kidding me? I'm sure that it's like a 1-2 switch game, which is why everybody hated 1-2 switch.
All right. Well, so today we're going to talk about World 4-1 of Super Mario Brothers. But before that, we should take a quick visit to the corrections department.
No.
Actually,
this always makes me feel so bad.
I know we're very sorry for all of our mistakes. Actually, though,
I'm not sorry. You guys can you deal with it.
This is my first time, so I've made zero mistakes so far.
This is not my fault at all. This is all on Aaron and Andy.
All right. Well, Jared's disclaiming responsibility, but there's actually not a lot of mistakes we made in the World 3 episodes.
But what did we get wrong?
I did want to go back to, this isn't even about Mario. We were talking briefly about Mega Man and what the names of the characters in Mega Man are in Japan. And we were correct that Mega Man is Rockman. We couldn't come up with Rush's original Japanese name, which is because he's actually just Rush in Japan. That's one of the few ones that carried over. Possibly a reference to the Canadian prog rock group. Rush?
Really?
Possibly. Who can say? Proto Man is blues. Bass is forte. I don't know why they changed that one because that's already like a musical pun.
Who's Bass?
Bass is the guy from Mega Man 7. He's like purple. He's cool.
I don't know why I asked.
he's kind of like the Shadow the Hedgehog of that franchise.
Oh, he is cool.
He's like a rival and sometimes cooperator of Mega Man.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Does he have cool hover shoes too?
Well, he has a dog who's called Gospel in Japan, but Treble in the United States. Again, I don't really know why they changed that one.
I think I know why.
Standards and practices had something to say.
And also, Treble's a better name, really.
Yeah, I don't know. Debatable, I suppose. But they can like combine together and do like a cool like duo attack where he can like fly around with Treble as like a jetpack. It's pretty rad.
Right on.
So anyway, that's the only corrections department. Other than that, I think we were 100% right and made no mistakes.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
No, we got through that one.
I don't care about Mega Man.
That's not even the central topic of this podcast.
So. Well, okay. With that being said, let's jump into World 4-1. So, Jared, what are your thoughts on World 4-1 of Super Mario Brothers?
So let's see. It's a. I mean, we were kind of playing it earlier, and I said that my main strategy for 4-1 is just to hold the B button down and run to the right, and basically try to time my jumps because the whole time you're getting little spiky guys thrown at you,
which is a very valid strategy.
I mean, it seems to work. It seems to work pretty well for me.
My strategy when I played through was because we started off with the Fire Flower.
Right.
This time.
Yeah, we carried it through.
Which is cheating.
We've talked about that. I say that the Fire Flower is extremely OP. Like, it's way overpowered.
It is, but you can lose it so quickly.
Yeah, and what I think is interesting about the original game is if you get hit, you automatically become Tiny Mario. You don't go down a level to Super Mario.
I keep expecting to get hit as a Fire Flower and be Super Mario still, but it makes you little and you're like, you have a moment of panic.
Right, because it's multiple steps to get to Fiery Mario, but then one hit sends you straight all back the way to back Mario.
Yeah. But it's still overpowered, I'd say. Like, that's because that's how I played through the level. I took it nice and slow. I killed every single little spiky dude. What are they called, Andy?
They are called Spinies.
Spinies. I killed every single spiny as it was thrown down and didn't have a single problem. It took me a while, but I never got hit, not even once.
Yeah, you could certainly take it slow. I mean, and
if you have the Fire Flower.
If you have the Fire Flower, and it's pretty easy to come into the stage with firepower because you can warp straight here from World 1-2, which is what I usually did as a kid.
Which is what I did too, because I don't think that I ever really, like, after I believe that I was shown the warp zone early, so I never saw 2 and 3. Like, ever. I don't know if I ever did.
I can never remember not knowing about that warp zone in World 1-2.
I'm pretty sure that I used to play through it. I don't think I knew about the warp zones for a long time.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Or if I did, maybe I don't know. Maybe I was old enough that I was like, I'm just gonna play through it
just to enjoy the experience.
Sure,
yeah. Or your parents were like, if you're gonna play it right.
No warp zones for you, Vandergriff. I don't know why my parents would call me by my last name.
They didn't call you Infinite J-Rod?
No, that was
later.
That was later.
Didn't acquire that moniker until college.
Oh, God, that's so embarrassing.
Is that an AIM screen name or something?
It was my Xbox Live name.
That's what it was. I was like, I've seen that somewhere. Where have I seen your? Yeah.
I put in J-Rod, and then it just like listed a bunch of random modifiers in front of it, and for some reason I picked that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want it to be J-Rod and you have to stick something in front of Infinite J-Rods,
sure,
it's a good choice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel validated now after all this time.
You're welcome, son.
Okay. Well, so I mean, let's talk
about the level. So we didn't actually set the premise of the level. Hopefully everybody at home is playing along. If you're not, this level is an overworld level where Lakitu is hovering above you the entire time, throwing down spinies at you.
That's right.
Have we seen Lakitu before this?
No. So first for this stage, we've got the first appearance of Lakitu, the first appearance of spiny eggs, and the first appearance of spinies.
Okay.
So those are eggs that he throws down, and then they hatch?
Yes, apparently they are eggs. And if we go to the manual, the original manual says that Lakitu is a mysterious turtle who controls the clouds. He chases after Mario and drops Spiny's eggs on top of him.
Interesting.
Now, the entry for Spiny's eggs says, eggs of the turtle Spiny, pet of Lakitu. So he's a pet, apparently. You can't destroy them by jumping on them. Good to know. And then the Spiny just says, Lakitu's pet, but a wild fighter.
So, this guy flies around and throws his pets at you, and you either dodge them or just continually murder them with fire.
Yeah, pretty much. And he apparently has an infinite amount of them.
Yeah.
The cloud never runs out.
Do you think he has names for each one, or like how does that work?
I don't know. It's like if you keep, livestock, you wouldn't name the livestock, right?
Do you think that the cloud is a denizen of the Mushroom Kingdom?
Ooh, so that's actually a good question.
It's got a smiley face. I see it right there.
Let's just jump to the lore corner for this week. Lakitu's cloud has a smiley face on it. My question for you, gentlemen, is Lakitu's cloud alive? What do you think?
I would say yes, because the other clouds in the background of the level do not have faces.
Okay.
And anything with a face is alive.
You don't think Lakitu just drew the face on there?
I mean, it's difficult to tell with the graphic fidelity that the NES is capable
What are you talking
of.
about? Look at all those pixels. Capable of literally tens of colors.
I would say that it's I mean, it looks like it's alive to me. I mean, it's looking at me. It's looking at me, guys. It's looking at me right now.
It seems to like you very much.
No, I mean, yeah, and I don't think it happens in this. You can't in this game, but in later games, you can knock Lakitu off and then just take the cloud.
That's right.
Drive it around like a little Jetsons car.
So does that mean that it's a car, or are you like commandeering a?
It's like a Yoshi.
It's like a Yoshi. Okay, so it's just an animal that you're bending to your will, so to speak.
Sure, or a transformed Mushroom Kingdom resident.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah,
that's how it started. I'm wondering, did Bowser turn a toad into that?
Well, I've got some evidence here,
boy.
and of course this is up for debate. But in the Nintendo Comics System, issue 5, the story Cloudburst, there's a Lakitu that has a cloud named Fluffy. And Fluffy actually speaks and has agency in this comic.
Oh.
Now, it could be that Fluffy is just like unique because it's like a larger cloud than we normally see. It's like a lot bigger.
How big is it?
It's enormous. It's like the size of a car. Because Lakitu in that depiction is like really greedy and is stealing like all the treasure he can find and storing it inside Fluffy the Cloud. And then later they open up a hatch and it all falls out. But according to that, Lakitu's cloud is a living entity.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, does it have smiley faces like in later versions? Like I can't remember if he had his cloud as a smiley face in like Mario 64.
You only see him like once or twice in Mario 64. I think he does.
Sure, at the beginning you see him when he's like good.
Yeah, because he's the camera.
Yeah, he's the camera. And then you see him in like that mirror room. But I can't remember if his smiley face has if his cloud has a smiley face or if it's just a mist.
Yeah. Here's another question. Does Lakitu have hair?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look at other depictions of him. I mean, in this, it doesn't seem like he does.
Yeah. So based on his sprite in this game, it doesn't look like it.
No,
but
it doesn't.
I will show you gentlemen now. Lakitu does have like just 3 little hairs on his head.
Okay.
Yeah. In most of his current depictions, at least.
Interesting. Good to know.
What else about Lakitu? A couple more interesting facts here. He actually, Lakitu joins your party in Paper Mario. His name is Lackey Lester in that game.
Lackey Luster?
Lackey, like his name is Lester, but with Lackey before it. Lackey Lester. And he has a girlfriend named
That's
Lackey
a great
Lulu.
pun. I love that.
Yeah, it's nice, right? And Lakitu's not always a bad guy, of course. He's the cameraman in Mario 64, like Aaron mentioned. He's also in Mario Kart. He holds the lights, and he'll fish you up if you fall off. Yeah, so he's not a bad guy.
Yeah. He's obviously just misunderstood in this. He's a real first appearance.
Yeah. What do you think his motivation is in this stage?
He just wants to throw some pets at somebody, man.
Don't we all?
If I could launch my pets from a cloud and they'd be fine, I would do it.
I know you would do it with your pets.
Are they fine though? They they walk off the edge of cliffs and
and they'll be fine.
Killed by fireballs.
Well, that's not
That's Mario's fault. That's Mario's fault.
They can walk off cliffs all they want. They're fine. They fall from clouds and they're fine. They can walk off cliffs. They'll be fine.
So you're saying you would throw your 2 precious wiener dogs off of a cloud if you had the chance?
No, never. I would never do that to those precious little angel.
All right, well you hesitated quite a while before answering there.
Listen, if they were spiny monsters who would land and just be like, whatever, then yeah, of course I would. Of course I would. You would too. Don't lie. It's a cool party trick.
I would not throw my kitties off of a cloud, first of all.
If they landed and it didn't even phase them and they were fine, yes, you would. Who knows?
I guess so. If they were magical.
This might be fun for those spinies.
It's hard to say. I mean, what are the Spinies doing? Do they have sentience? Are they, actors here? Or are they just kind of obeying their master?
I mean, they're pets. They're not like, I get that they're not like trained or anything. They're just pets. And although they are ferocious fighters or whatever you said, right?
Technically,
that's what it says, yeah.
Technically, each one has just been born. He's throwing eggs that are hatching. They don't know what is going on.
Yes. Jared makes a valid point.
You're slaughtering infants in this game.
You are, all day long.
Jared just ran past them, but Aaron, you killed them one by one, you monster.
Listen.
He took great pleasure in it.
All day long, you're smashing those bricks, which are innocent toads that were transformed. So, honestly, again, as we've learned, Mario's a monster. He's the true villain of the story. I will maintain that to my dying breath.
I disagree, man. I think Mario is a worker. He is part of the proletarian revolution.
He's a bad faith actor, man.
I think he's a victim of circumstance. I mean, if you were going to go into a huge battle where you're just constantly running and fighting monsters, why would you be wearing overalls?
Yeah, that's true. He's a true man of the people. He's wearing overalls.
It's all charade, guys. It's all to make you think that. Of course he's not. Look how many gold coins he has. It's just like he just eats them.
He needs them because the capitalists have dispossessed him of his material wealth.
No, because he hoards them. He hoards them, and it literally gives him life. Like, come on, guys. You are being duped by this Mario character.
All right, well, we're going to continue this debate in later episodes. But for now, do y'all want to hear some stats about World 4-1?
Sure.
Hit me with them stats.
We've got 62 coins in this stage, 3 power-ups, 0 starmen, a single 1-up, and 1 hidden area.
I think I missed the hidden area. Or is it an underground area?
Yes, it is an underground area.
Yes, I did miss that, but I saw Jared do it.
Oh, just the pipe?
Yeah, it's just a single pipe that goes down. You get, it's like these underground areas are, of course, these one screen long areas with coins. There's actually a power up down there, but you have to be small Mario to get low enough to hit the block. But there is a power up down there if you care to find it. Quite a few power ups in this stage, though. Well, there's 3, but I mean, for this game, that's a lot. And then there's a hidden 1-up mushroom block. Like maybe a third or halfway through the stage, something like that. Mm-hmm. It's on top of a row of 4 coin blocks. It's like invisible up there.
Yeah, okay. I missed that one, definitely.
Yep. So listeners, when you play along at home, see if you can find it. Or look at a map. That's what I'm doing.
So there are spots in other levels where if you have a running start, you can slide under those 1 block openings,
right?
Or slide through those 1 block openings. Yeah. But that underground area in particular does not have enough room for you to do that.
Correct. Yeah. You wouldn't have enough room to get a running start there, and it's impossible to run and jump and wedge yourself in there. It's just not possible, folks. It's not possible.
We encountered this a lot in the next one. You watched.
Oh
me.
yeah, you made a boo boo.
Yeah, we'll get there, but.
So yeah, so how would you all rate this world or this stage? I mean,
I liked it. It was kind of panic inducing, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. There was a section that really tripped me up where there's a pit with a row of blocks over it, some just bricks, some question marks, and then another row above that. And I found myself trapped underneath. I don't think you guys were here when I played it, but I was trapped underneath, and I didn't have any choice but to try and jump the gap. Otherwise, and so I jumped, and I hit a brick, I think a brick is in the middle, and I hit a brick, and I made it. I bounced down and landed on the other side, and I was like, it's like I should have died there, but I didn't, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I felt pretty good about that.
How many tries did it take you to get through this stage today?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, just one. Again, I had the fire flower, and that makes you a god. So, I just killed everything.
Now,
because that's what gods do.
Did you get to this stage in a straight playthrough, or did you load a save state?
In this, to get here today, just because we didn't have a save state, I just used the warp zone.
Okay, all right.
Just because we're not playing on Andy's Switch this time, we're playing on Aaron's Switch this time, and I hadn't been playing long. I just play it with Andy.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you did it fairly and did not cheat.
Warp zones are cheating, so.
Well, I played through them all at your house, so I considered that as count. I counted it, and deal with it.
Jared, how would you rate this stage?
I really like this stage. I tend to really enjoy stages where I can just hold B and run the whole time and just time my jumps. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, you can really jam in this one.
Yeah. So yeah, this is actually one of my highlights, I would say.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. I agree with y'all. And this one always sticks out in my mind, partially because it was usually the third stage I would play, since I would warp straight here from 1-2. But also, it's just really memorable. Lakitu doesn't show up a lot in this game, and I was terrified of this stage when I was a kid.
That might have been why I was like, is this the first time we see Lakitu? Because when I played Super Mario Brothers, I would warp to this one. It's just, there he is, third level. There he is. But it took a long time to get to him this time because we played through every single level instead
we're
of
not
warping.
skipping. So I like now when I play this stage, I don't think it's that hard. But as a kid, I thought this stage was just absolutely terrifying, and I would die pretty often trying to get through it. It
is still a pretty hard level. It really is. But, like I said, I had the fire flower, so that made it so that it wasn't. But it is a hard level. Anytime Lakitu's there throwing those spiny guys at you, it's a challenge.
They just keep coming.
Yeah. And he follows you, and he speeds up when you speed up, and it's
it's true.
It's another great example of programming. It doesn't feel too unfair, but he definitely seems to track you down and anticipate where you're trying to be.
Oh yeah. When I was playing through, there was a moment where he was like frozen up in the corner. And I was like, I don't know why it happened. I think it was just a glitch, but like I just had a moment of respite, and I was like, what's happening? Oh, this is so nice. I just want to stay here for a moment. And then I tried to enjoy it, and then I moved on, and he kept throwing his babies at me.
Yeah. And if you do manage to kill him, which is possible, if you
who did that? One of you guys did that.
I think Jared did.
Jared did, entirely by accident. I might add.
But you got him.
Yeah, if you do manage to get high enough and knock him out, you do have that moment of respite. But he comes back.
He does come back. Yeah.
But it's a nice feeling when you get to the stairs at the end and he just decides enough is enough and goes away.
You bested me this time, Mario.
It's almost like his cloud doesn't have enough juice to go past that point. Like one of those shopping carts at the grocery store that has like a sensor where the wheels lock up if you go too
makes
far.
Them lock up. It's an electric fence or an invisible fence like a dog.
So we like to talk about the history of Nintendo on this show.
Well, while we're still talking about the level,
go ahead.
I want to say something that I noticed this time that I don't think I'd noticed. I'm not sure if you've mentioned it. I don't think you have, but I could be wrong. I noticed that when I finished the level, I got fireworks, not on purpose. But I noticed that as the fireworks were exploding, my points were going up.
Yes.
The fireworks give you points. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Again, you might have mentioned, I just forgot. But I was like, hey, look at that. That's neat.
It is neat. It's based on what the last digit of your points is when you hit the flag.
Yeah,
right?
we've talked about that. Like how, like the fireworks
What
in general,
triggers
but I don't think we ever talked about how the fireworks give you points, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Yeah, according to the instruction manual, under a section labeled "Top Secret," fireworks give you 500 points for each explosion.
Huh. Interesting.
And yeah, we've said it before, I think, but it's if your time ends in 1, 3, or 6, you get a corresponding number of fireworks.
Nice.
So, we to jump back to what I was going to say earlier, we like to talk about history on this show.
We do.
And I'm curious, from Jared, what do you know about Nintendo's history?
I know that they started as a coin op machine company.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait,
well, that's not entirely correct, but they did do coin op machines before, consoles.
When they got into video games, they started with coin op machines.
Well, yeah,
Right.
Oh, I meant I thought it was like you could put a coin in and you turn it and get a prize, like that sort of thing.
Oh, like gachapon machines.
Yes. Am I misremembering that?
I don't know if they ever got. I mean, I'm sure they had those, but they actually started even further back. So the company goes back to 1890 something.
Wow.
They originally made playing cards, Hanafuda playing cards, which were
interesting.
Yeah, a Japanese style of playing card that was made because there were rules at the time during the Meiji era about having too many Western influences. So they made their own kind of playing cards to get around that.
Interesting. So it was not a standard 52 card deck, I guess. It was something different.
No, they were different. And I'm not entirely sure how you play games with these cards, but there's 12 or 13 different suits.
Wow.
Hana means flower, so each suit would be a different kind of flower, and each suit has, I think, between 1 and 13 cards in the deck. Like one suit only has 1, and one has 2 and 3, and then so on.
Interesting.
And they had the flower ones. They also had a more famous set called the Dai Torio set, which was monarchs, and the one in that was Napoleon. So it's kind of famous for the picture of Napoleon on it. But that was what they did for many years. It wasn't until the 40s and 50s that they started doing other things.
Huh, cool.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you've heard all this before because we've talked about it on the program in the past.
Indeed. It's really interesting. Then, being an American, it's a company is that old? It's that old? It's been around that long?
They've changed so much.
And they've changed so much, yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, they made it through World War II, and the guy who founded the company was a guy named Fusajiro Yamauchi, and his great-grandson, a man named Hiroshi Yamauchi, who we've discussed a lot on this show, is the one who first took them in a new direction. And that started happening when he became president in the 40s. President for life, more or less, until his handpicked successor took over in the 2000s, and that was, of course, Satoru Iwata. We've been talking a lot about the Yamauchi family and Hiroshi Yamauchi and their influence on games. And we will continue to talk about that. I've got some different history segments ready to go for the other episodes in World 4, but for this episode, I just wanted to catch Jared up and check that Aaron remembers what we have talked about in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
A little quiz for you there. Aaron, do you remember the name of the man who invented the D-pad?
Oh, geez, man.
I believe it was D-pad Chopra.
Oh... Yeah, that. No, I don't remember the name. I don't remember any of the names. Man, I'm so bad at keeping it straight. I remember that was he the one who tragically died on the side of the road?
That's right. Yeah. He died in an auto accident. His name was Gunpei Yokoi.
Gunpei, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Yokoi was
just so everybody knows. Sometimes there are weeks and weeks between recording sessions here. So. Cut me a break, okay?
You mean you're not obsessively listening to our own recordings?
Well, I do for the edits, but
Yeah, his name was Gunpei Yokoi. He invented the D-pad as well
Virtual
as
Boy.
The Virtual Boy. That was his baby as well.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, apparently it was rushed to market. He wasn't ready for it to be out there, but Nintendo kind of wanted to get it out there so they could focus resources on other projects. Reportedly, the N64. But yeah, notorious flop. It was only on the market for about a year, and Mr. Yokoi was sort of disgraced after that. Kind of not really forced out, but he was put in like a less important role in the company, and then he quit a short time later to start a different company. He worked on a handheld called the Wonder Swan, which wasn't ever.
That.
You remember the Wonder Swan?
I do.
That's interesting.
One of my friends had a Wonder Swan.
Really?
It was kind of cool.
Did he buy it in the States or was it imported?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think he probably bought it in the States.
Okay.
But, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's really interesting. It's a pretty rare thing over here. It was mostly a Japanese thing. It was a competitor to the Game Boy, which Mr. Yokoi also invented the Game Boy, we should say. But they the Wonder Swan did okay in Japan, but it just couldn't crack the market share that the Game Boy had at the time. The Game Boy.
What company was that?
It was for Bandai, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Bandai in cooperation with some other companies, I think.
Namco, probably.
Yeah, and Mr. Yokoi's company that, was like working with them to do the tech.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Aaron said, he was killed in an auto accident. He was only 56. This is in 1997. And a true tragic loss to the gaming industry.
Indeed.
Okay, well, we're going to get more into history later, but let's see. Oh, a new segment. I have a new segment for us.
Oh boy.
This is called
this is a surprise to me, folks.
This one I'm calling this Let Us Listen to the People. So we've had some listener feedback, which is nice, At first we thought maybe it would just be like our family members and pets that would listen to the show, but but it turns out we've had a few others as well.
You force your pets to listen to this?
I mean, I just play it at full volume in my house at all times, so they don't really have a choice. No, this comes from William, and I know William, I should say. But William asked us a question. He's enjoying the show so far, and he wants to know, what game will we do after Super Mario Brothers? Assuming we haven't, burnt out and quit the show by then.
No.
Yeah.
That's a very good question, William. That's something that we've been talking about quite a bit, but we haven't nailed anything down. We still have some time before that becomes an issue, so we haven't quite decided. But there's definitely been some ideas floated. Obviously, Sonic's up there as one of the top contenders for the next game.
Yep, we've kicked that around.
I've thrown out like Star Fox, or
that'd be a cool one. Even
though I hate the games and it would just kill me inside, I've said we could do a Mega Man game.
Ooh. We can play. There's like baby modes on the newer Mega Man collections that make it really easy. So we could do that.
Well, but that wouldn't be, I mean, sure, we could do that, but then we'd have to do everything would have an asterisk, and that's no good.
It might be against the spirit of the show.
Exactly.
Well, William suggested Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country is a great game. It's a great game. Hard game.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never beaten Donkey Kong Country. I beat Donkey Kong Land for the Game Boy.
Oh, interesting.
But that's probably because I actually had a Game Boy and I never had a Super Nintendo.
That's where I'm at with Mario games too. I beat the like Super Mario, or I guess Super Mario Land, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins.
You beat Super Mario Land?
Yeah, man, that game is hard.
Yeah,
that game's really hard.
I know, and bad.
It's not that bad. It's all I had.
Dude, I get it. But we've talked about it before. I'm not a fan of that game. It is just so rough.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
It's probably just nostalgia, but I like it a
me
lot.
Another Mario game that has the Chinese hopping vampires as an enemy.
Oh my god, I know. They're so great.
Name me another Mario game where you fly an airplane and battle a space alien.
Yeah, isn't that the final boss battle too?
Yeah, it's a shooting game.
Yeah,
it's great. I love that game.
Game Boy games are so weird.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think the first actual game that I beat the final boss was Wario Land on Game Boy, which is a great game.
I love that game. Yeah. That's one of my favorite games.
I never played that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wario, I don't know if I've said this on the show. Wario is my favorite Nintendo character.
I don't know if you said it on the show either.
I just love his games, his whole personality, his whole outlook. He's in some ways the most honest of all video game characters.
him and Mario really are one and the same.
They're just two sides of the same
Wario
coin.
just admits it.
Yeah. Wario doesn't make he doesn't put on any airs. He doesn't make any, bones about what he's doing.
He doesn't pretend like he's a hero.
No, he's
like Mario does.
He's upfront about his greed.
That's right.
All right. Well, we've dug into World 4-1. We've gone on a few tangents, but I guess we'll bring it back around. Should we wrap it up, boys?
Yeah, I think we should. On to 4-2.
Onward and upward. Mm-hmm. Jared, are you going to stick around? Join us for World 4-2?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's do it then.
Aaron, do you have anything to say before we sign off?
Arrivederci. Adios. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes, thank you. And please join us again, listeners. Oh, and follow us on the things.
Yeah, follow us on the Facebooks and the
Twitters,
Instagrams, and the Twitters, and we're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. But you guys know that because you're listening right now.
You're listening right now, so you would know that.
So tune in next time. And until then, adios.
Sayonara.
Bye-bye. Jared, say bye.
Goodbye.